I want to share with you why I'm so excited about DLSS 3.0, why I think that frame creation, that motion interpolation that NVIDIA is doing, why I think that is a game changer. It's just amazing. And the reason is, it is overcoming the limitations of this sample and hold displays. It is doubling the frame rate to give you a better motion clarity. So doubling the frame rate without improving the input lag associated with that higher frame rate. The only thing that is doing is basically overcoming that blurriness. The sample and hold blurriness is giving you a better motion clarity. So if you get 120 frames, so this OLED TV, this LG C1 is 120 Hertz. So if you get 120 frames per second, feeling like 60 frames, the only reason why you want that higher frame rate is because it looks better. It doesn't feel better, but it's going to look better. So I love HDR gaming. HDR is just the best setting, the best graphical setting you can get, upgrade you can get on your gaming experience. So you see Digital Foundry videos, they analyze the ray tracing, this and that, and that's all good. And ray tracing looks very good. All the graphical settings look very good. But HDR makes a huge difference. It's a lot more impactful. HDR gaming is a lot more impactful than any graphical settings. So basically, for me to sacrifice motion clarity to just play on HDR sometimes is a hard decision, because if I cannot get 120 frames on a game, I'm gonna use black frame insertion on this LG C1. So if I can get 60, if that's all I can get, I'm not gonna play on HDR, because 60 frames per second for me with this sample and hold displays is not enough. It looks blurry in movement. The reason why this channel is called Plasma TV for gaming is because this Plasma TV that I have was the reason why I opened this channel, because I was blown away. This Plasma TV, aside from the colors, which are amazing, it looks at just 60 frames, just 60 hertz, 60 frames per second, it looks like 120. It gives you double the motion clarity, because the image is not a sample and hold display. The image is being refreshed 10 times. For each frame is being refreshed 10 times. So you have 60 images per second, and each image is being refreshed 10 times. So it looks amazing in movement. When you move the camera, it looks like 120. So after getting used to that, when you see this sample and hold displays at 60 frames per second, it's so blurry, man, that there's no HDR in this world that would make me play at 60 frames per second. It doesn't matter the input lag. I mean, if you want the best input lag, try a CRT monitor. You're gonna be blown away. So basically, the decision that I have to make on gaming is, can I get 120 frames per second on the game? No, I cannot use HDR. So now with this DLSS 3.0 and motion interpolation, is basically doubling the frame rate. So these GPUs can get 60 frames per second on every single game very easily, especially because of the CPU. Sometimes the CPU is a limitation to give you that 120 frames. So for example, in Spider-Man, if I turn on ray tracing, it doesn't matter how much I load the graphical set, it doesn't matter how much I lower the resolution, I can get like 90 to 100 frames per second, but not 120. But with the image creation, with motion interpolation, all you need is 60. So if the GPU is capable of doing 60, you just engage that and you get 120 motion clarity. So now I am gonna be able to get 120 with HDR, so without having to sacrifice that peak brightness by using black frame insertion. I'm gonna get 120 on every single game on HDR, and that looks just amazing. HDR is next level. That's why I'm so excited about it, because the only reason why you want to double the frame rate without doubling the responsiveness is because of motion clarity. So what that frame creation is overcoming is the sample and hold nature of these displays. So for me having this OLED TV, for me having 60 frames looking like 120, that's like having a plasma TV. It's like having an impulse display. So that's what I've been calling for. I've been saying, man, I wish they invent a new technology like a plasma TV. I can only imagine a 4K plasma TV that's 120 hertz with G-Sync. That's going to look like 240, okay, with amazing colors and amazing contrast and picture quality. So I know that's not gonna be possible, but a different technology, I've been calling for it. Man, I wish a different technology, they just invent a different technology that looks like this impulse displays, like my plasma, like my CRT, because I know we are losing half of the motion clarity, and NVIDIA, they just solved it. And I was calling for it. I was talking about this on the 240 hertz OLED video. I made a video about 240 hertz OLED monitors that are coming now, and I was saying, man, I wish NVIDIA work with this TV, with these display manufacturers, and they come up with some kind of faster interpolation using AI. I called for it, and they just did it. Maybe they were listening to me, and they are like, and I was complaining, man, this sample and hold displays, they suck. It's so blurry movement. Give me that plasma, give me the CRT back. Maybe they're listening and they say, son, we have the solution for you. We created this new optical flow accelerator that this GPU currently have, by the way. We already have that optical flow accelerator. But of course the new ones are faster. But maybe they were listening and say, we solved your problem. You just need to buy the new GPUs. We need your money again, son. Or maybe we need your money again soon. So yeah, it's probably gonna be supported on the 30 and the 20 and the 30 series. It might be slower, but I'm okay with that. If the input lag is not as good, I'm okay with that. Maybe they didn't want to release it for every GPU to prevent bad reviews, because sometimes I think people are just brainwashed, like, oh, input latency is all that matters. So maybe they prefer to play on this LG OLED at 60 frames, because you can lock the frame to 60 and use boost mode, and you get like 9 milliseconds of input lag. So you basically get almost 120 hertz responsiveness while playing at 60. So some people, that's the way they go. They much rather have that responsiveness instead of the motion clarity. I would never play like that. I'm gonna turn that off and use black frame insertion at 60 frames any day. But sometimes I think people are a little bit brainwashed with this marketing that, oh, you need 200 frames, you need 500 frames. Frames win games. So maybe NVIDIA was trying to prevent bad reviews, like people saying, oh, the DLSS is bad, the technology is bad because the responsiveness is gonna be too bad on the 20 and the 30 series. So maybe it's gonna be slower, but I'm okay with that. I'm already using it on this LG C1. Right now I have Cyberpunk max out. I'm just getting 60 frames per second, and the TV is doubling the frame rate and applying Motion Pro on top of that. So basically right now the game is running at 60, but it looks like 240 frames per second in movement. So the motion clarity is 240 frames per second. Let me show you the settings I have on the game here. So you see it is maxed out, and of course I have the resolution lowered. So it's 2954 by 1662. This is NVIDIA image scaling, DLSS performance, and all the graphics maxed out. Of course, that's not the way I play the game. It doesn't feel responsive, especially for a shooter. But if you play competitive, this DLSS 3.0 frame creation is basically making high refresh displays relevant, because now 240 hertz makes sense. I would actually strongly suggest you, if you can afford that 4090, if you can get one of these new 240 hertz OLED displays that are coming, definitely do that. I'm not a big fan of ultra wide. If I want ultra wide on this LG C1, I just create a custom resolution. But I'm not a fan of getting, lower pixel density and going ultra wide. But if you play competitive, ultra wide makes a lot of sense because it does give you a competitive advantage. But I would definitely get a 240 hertz 4K display if it supports black frame insertion at custom refresh rates. That's what I'm looking for. I would definitely get that, because with DLSS 3.0 now you can get over 200 frames per second easily, because that 4090 or the 4080s, the 4090 is the only one that makes sense, to be honest, because it is a beast, and the price is fair in my opinion. That 4090, but the 4080s are not. That's not. I would not recommend the 4080, but of course it's more money for the 4090. But that 4090 can give you 120 and rasterized performance on the AAA games coming, for sure. So using that frame creation, there you go, 240. So definitely 240 4K HDR. Yeah, that's that's awesome, man. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Nvidia is doing it. Is giving me exactly what I was looking for, and it looks like they need my money again. So I'm just gonna have to help them. So yeah, I'm not a fanboy. Definitely wait for AMD and see what they bring to the table. Definitely, they might just give you a lot better value. But yeah, let's see what they can give you, and see what the features that they have. Maybe they will invent their own motion interpolation or something. But yeah, it is awesome, man. These guys, they know what they're doing. So let me know what you think about it. What's your opinion, and if you have any questions.